Suns fans, you know what time it is in the PHX.
Empire of the Suns.
Phoenix Suns.
Empire of the Suns.
Hello there, and welcome to the Empire of the Suns podcast. My name is Kellen Olson, joined as always by Kevin Zimmerman. What up, man?
How's it going? We're back and glad we got some time to, the Arizona Wildcats are back. They're going to play the Yukon Huskies tonight in a top 5 battle that should be watched by everyone if you like hoops.
Yeah, we're going to lose. UConn's very, very good. Their defense is awesome, and Hurley's a legitimate NBA level coach in college, which is like a life hack basically in college, as I've ranted about. But we beat UCLA, so I'm always going to be repping the rest of the year. We beat UCLA now. Now it's just about having a decent rank for March, because we beat UCLA and then it's March. That's all that really matters every year.
Not to derail the start of this podcast, but did you see that UCLA changed a bunch of dudes in their starting lineup to play Sac State as a result, apparently? So that's funny.
Yeah, anytime I can get in Mick Cronin's head, I love it. I've been in there for a while now, to be honest. And I say I as in a part of the team, as a part of the university. But, tuition. You and I paid a lot of money to that university. We can use the I and the we. That's the difference. We didn't pay to be a member of the Phoenix Suns, but we paid to be a member of the University of Arizona, quite literally. The Phoenix Suns, since we last talked, have played 2 basketball games. They looked great against the Hawks for 3 quarters. Fourth quarter happened. We'll talk about that a little bit. But we want to focus on last night's win. We're recording this on Wednesday afternoon. A thorough win over the Portland Trail Blazers. And it's not a recycled conversation per se, but Portland was depleted. And basically what happened is the Blazers are the number 1 team in the league in drives per game. So that is what they're going to do. They're going to drive the basketball, drive the basketball, drive the basketball. They haven't had Scoot all year. But then last night, no Drew Holiday, no Jeremy Grant. Blake Wesley's been out for a bit. Matisse Thybulle's out as well. So we're seeing our boy Caleb Love from the University of Arizona. We're seeing Ryan Rupert. We're seeing Sidy Cissoko, former first-round pick of the Spurs. We're seeing a lot of guys out there. And what the Blazers are doing, because they're a well-coached and just developed team with an identity, they're sticking to what they do. But the problem is it's Toumani Camara that's making 20 drives in that game. And Toumani's not equipped for that just yet. And a lot of these guys had issues with turnovers, and the Suns, as a result, league high 19 steals in the game. They tied the league high with 35 deflections in this game. They're now top 5 in deflections. They sit 5th in deflections per game. They're 2nd in steals per game. But I think that's more of kind of the point I'm making here, is not that this is another bad, another overmatched team that the Suns took care of or whatever, not to recycle what we talked about last week. It's more if you come in and try and do this type of thing against this type of team, that's what's going to happen. You're just going to turn the ball over a lot. You're going to look really sloppy, and you're going to give a Suns team that doesn't really have many avenues towards a lot of offensive success right now with the injuries they've got. You're going to give them roadmaps to that offense and get beat pretty thoroughly as a result. It was an impressive defensive performance. I really liked the way that Devin Booker and Dylan Brooks responded, because I thought they were bad in the fourth quarter on both ends, especially defensively. That's one of those lead by example things where they took their foot off the gas just as much as anyone else, if not more, in that fourth quarter against Atlanta.
Yeah, you're talking about the Hawks and
Yeah, so the way they responded against Portland, clearly, him and Dylan, Book and Dylan were engaged immediately in that game. And it was really great to see.
I think the Atlanta game that happened before, and since we're podcasting 2 games after we last did, I think that's super important in the context of the Portland game, just because you have a lesson learned, I think, when you blow a 22-point lead. And for the most part, I think I liked how they played the first 3 quarters of that Atlanta game. And then Book and Brooks really did, both ends, kind of just bad fouls. I don't know how many and ones the Hawks had just in getting back into the game in the fourth, but also turnovers on offense, all that stuff. So you go into the next game again, you laid out the Blazers injuries and stuff. But to me, that said a lot about the coaching staff, not just that they got the Suns to like respond and be like, oh, we got to bounce back and flush that, as they say. But how the coaching staff did it was crazy to me. I think in the second quarter, maybe even the first, I tweeted when the bench unit was out there for the Suns, they just started literally double teaming everyone for no reason. like I've never seen that aggressive of a defense for the Portland Trailblazers, who are down like a bunch of their good players. Like, I've never seen a coaching staff act that aggressively against a team like that and not just be like, oh, we're going to run our stuff and beat them. They were like, no, we're going to send double teams pick all the guys you just named who are probably not rotation guys in the NBA normally. And they just got this team that didn't have enough on-ball creators to make mistakes, and that was kind of the game plan.
Kevin,
yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, but like Denny Avdia and Shaden Sharp were getting to the rim a lot in the first quarter. Yeah. And essentially it was like, okay, here comes Oso. We usually switch everything. And it's like, what if we just blitz the ever-living crap out of them? And it was just like every ball handler was forced to like the half-court line, basically, because of how maniacal Oso and the on-ball defender were enforcing that guy off the ball. And it was a very nice, like, not like I think they call it like teaching tape teaching, whatever the phrase is. It's like, it was a very good 3 minutes of like, yeah, let's see what it looks like when you guys go to Oso and blitz, and like what the backside looked like. The backside looked decent. Like, it looked okay. But again, like, it's like you want to see it against Minnesota when you blitz Ant. You want to see it against the Warriors when you blitz Steph. Like, let's see what it looks like in some of those. But to do it against like this type of team and that kind of situation, and to your point, the coaching staff was like, screw this. Like, you guys are getting to the rim too much. We're just going to blitz the crap out of you. And it was really cool to see that in the second quarter, not like a halftime thing.
That's a good point too, because it's not only like, let's engage. I think that there's a value in engaging the players like that, especially coming off a bad loss, where you're just like, hey, like, you guys, we're going to make you really think out there and be engaged in the game plan, because it's going to be different. But also, it is, to your point, good teaching tape of, all right, let's try this against this team. And if it works, do we do that against the Ants and the Steph Currys and all that down the line, the Shays? So, yeah, I thought that was super just interesting that they deployed something so aggressively. But, yeah, I mean, there were still some turnover issues on the Suns' part. Just the live ball stuff, again, from Brooks kind of kept the Blazers in the game. But then, like, eventually you could kind of feel it, and I think Eddie Johnson said it in the broadcast, you could feel that they're just going to blow this game open if they just have a sound stretch of offense, I guess. And they did that in the second half.
I think what we're going to see now over the next couple of games is, so the NBC broadcast got some updates on Grayson Allen, which are basically that Grayson I believe we did talk about it last week, but he got kneed in the back of his knee, basically like in the quad. And like the bruise was essentially like so severe. It's one of those like, hey, this just needs to like not be like swollen to oblivion. And then once it is, he'll be good to go, which was good to hear, because we didn't know. It was like one of those things like, are we waiting on MRI results? Is this actually just a contusion, or is it going to be like revealed to be a strain or something, and then he's out multiple weeks? So it sounds like it's good updates on that front. Offensively, what happened against Atlanta is they couldn't get up threes. They only took 30. They only made 10 as a result. That's one of those, like, shooting, what's going to happen for them when the shots don't go in. Royce was 1 of 6 from 3 in that game. But they grabbed 9 offensive rebounds in the first 9 minutes of that game to try and like mitigate it as much as they possibly could. And then in this game, they score 127 points, and Devin Booker was the leading guy with 19. And so when I hear that, and if you told me that coming into the year, like, I could see us having that type of conversation where we're like, the only way this team is going to score 130 if Devin Booker doesn't have 30 plus is if Jalen Green goes off, or if Grayson Allen goes off, or if Dylan Brooks goes off, or they're just making a whole lot of threes, or they have like 35 assists or whatever. They had 14 threes in this game, and they had, I believe, 24 assists. So it was not really that. It wasn't really like all of the gears spinning at a super high level. It was just Oso had 14, and Gillespie had 19, and Mark Williams had 15. It was just a little bit of enough from like everyone offensively in this game. So it was, I don't want to say the most encouraging win of the year so far, because the Spurs game happened and we were like, oh, whoa. Because to your point, what if we just double the crap out of Wemby and like show the league how to defend Wemby in case they didn't know already? Let's like show the blueprint essentially. But it was on both ends of the floor. It was like, okay, like this is what they can really do against this type of team as well. And we should talk about, Kevin, ever since we podcasted, I think like we can have like this weekly or like bi-weekly segment where it's like, let's check in on the apocalyptic state of the bottom third of the Western Conference right now. Okay. It's only gotten worse since we last podcasted. The Memphis Grizzlies just got Zach Edey back, and then John Morant went down for a couple of weeks. They've lost 5 straight. They're 4-11. The Clippers are 4-10. They lost to the Sixers and lost Derrick Jones Jr. for 6 weeks. The Mavericks are now 4-11. The Kings have lost 6 straight. They're 3-11. The Pelicans have lost 6 straight. They're 2-12. I didn't even mention the Utah Jazz yet.
Did Willie Green? Willie Green got fired since our last podcast when you said Willie Green's hours from getting fired, and he did. So just good job there.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Sentel, by the way, like I love that. Like Sentel is just like, I'm gonna be a couple of days ahead on the thing that's about to happen, just to like increase my metrics even more. Like just a king, one absolute king or queen, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't even mention the Jazz. We had that old Danny Ainge joke from last week. Like, how hard are they gonna have to tank now to try and not be in the play-in? Because I haven't even mentioned the Blazers, who have lost 3 straight. They're 6-8. The Warriors are 9-7, just toiling around right now. The Suns are 9-6. They're 7th in the West right now. So week by week, if this continues to happen, where the Suns not so much are going like this, like they're going like on a meteoric rise, they're just kind of, you know, being okay, getting a little bit better, and the West just keeps going down significantly, they're just going to be in the play-in by default. Like there just might be, there's a situation here where those 5 teams are so horrible this year that like 33 wins gets you the 10 seed in the West. Like that could happen as well. And the Suns might not even be a 33-win team anymore. I'm not going that far yet. I'm not sitting here saying that like the 30-win prediction was wrong. It sure is trending wrong right now. But again, you and I want to see how the next month goes. But we are going to have this like bi-weekly check-in on that bottom third. And you just might, like, Utah might be screwed. Like you might just have to hope for good lottery luck with like the 9th overall pick or something, because these teams are going through an absolute disaster in the bottom third right now.
Yeah, and that's not even to mention like what the Spurs lost Wemby and Stephon Castle for multiple weeks each with injuries. So I mean they're at the top, but also that's a game the Suns now like it's going to be tougher for the Spurs to win when they visit here. So. Yeah, I mean the West is super crazy wide open, and when you look at the East, it's kind of a mess too. But I think this is just a good. I mean, for the NBA product, I think it's good just because you have all these new TV deals and stuff, and I think any game can be good on any night, and that's kind of the fun part about this is we just don't know. It's not predictable, I guess, and I think like people are going to be tired of the Lakers, probably tired of the Thunder winning all the time. But after that, it's just a fun product if you really like basketball, I think.
So we should shout out Colin Gillespie for a few minutes. I tweeted the stats just a few hours ago. I'm going to go find it. He's first in the NBA in total assists off the bench, 3rd in 3-pointers, tied for 9th in steals, 11th in points, 17th in rebounding. There's some Suns fans, rightfully so, that are like 6th man of the year candidate, and I think that they just forgot what it looks like when someone's impactful off the bench. It's like, He's not quite a 6th man of the year candidate yet. Like there are some guys like Jeremy Grant who they didn't face yesterday. Jaime Jaquez Jr. having an insane year. Ayo Dosunmu has been great for Chicago. There's a handful of guys having crazy years off the bench right now. But Colin deserves a lot of shout outs and a lot of praise for how well he has played. And if you want to go with like the we're wrong parade and like looking back on like preseason stuff, I was extremely hesitant at the amount of commitment that they were going to show to him, pretty much as like their most important ball handler off the bench when they're fully healthy. And right now, he has certainly met the hype. There's this ongoing weekly joke, which I'm sure is going to come up in 2 hours when I'm on Birds and Gambo, where Gambo hurts from someone that Colin Gillespie is like a TJ McConnell type. And it's like, yes, he's a short white American point guard. We get it. He's more of a Peyton Pritchard because TJ, we don't have to explain on our podcast like why TJ is a vastly different player than how Colin is. But Colin will cross guys up. Like, he had a move last night. The NBC broadcast cut to Devin Booker making a stink face, and it was deserved because of how quickly he got into his screen and just like stepped into his three. He's got some shake to his game where he is able to legitimately create separation and score on the bounce. Like, that's where the TJ comparison lies the best, is off the bounce. Colin's had a few where he's like scored in the mid-range on guys when he's just like, I'm going to take this guy one-on-one. I know I can score on him. I'm going to get there. And then he just makes a bunch of smart passes as well. But obviously with Pritchard, it's like 3-point volume, creating separation and scoring off the bounce. That's where those two guys are the most similar. And the crazy thing I think about Colin's year right now is that he could be shooting much better from three, because the shooter that we know him to be and that his reputation was coming into this role, he's at 39% from three right now on 6 attempts per game. But I'm going to look right now while you're talking, like he's got to be in this situation right now where he's taking so many open threes. But the assist numbers are probably the most important one, Kevin, because it was like, okay, Book's going to be like the hub of this. We know Jalen Green's not going to have this breakout like 7 assists per game year. Can you get supplemental additions in the playmaking from a few different guys? You know Brooks isn't going to do it. You know Green isn't going to do it. Who else is going to do it? It's been Grayson Allen, and it's been Gillespie so far too.
Yeah, that's the crazy part, is the injuries that have put more on him, and not to discredit him, I guess, but when you have him taking on that much more with Grayson and Jalen Green out, it's like, okay, at some point teams you would think can contain Book and that secondary scorer being Colin Gillespie. They haven't figured it out. And I will say, though, that like the coaching staff hasn't put everything on him. Again, I think they've really done a great job distributing kind of the play initiation duties, whether that's Oso bringing the ball up, other guys bringing the ball up. And you can't go into this conversation without talking about Dylan Brooks. Off the top of my head, I don't know how many points he's had in the last 2 games, but just his initiation abilities and being, okay, like I am going to be like a mid-range turnaround scorer. Like I thought he would get up a lot of threes, I guess. I didn't think he'd be like, I'm going to bring it up and then go one-on-one and it won't be super terrible to watch. He's been a really good creator for his own shot, and that takes a lot off Book and Colin Gillespie and the other guys. That's something, I guess, I don't know if I didn't pay attention to how he played in Memphis and that kind of stuff in Houston, because like Houston could have used that the last few years. Like, I don't know if he did that very often. I don't think he did it to this degree. But that's, are we getting
like small sample size to death, right? Because the inefficiency is what has plagued him in these moments where he's just never been this efficient of a player in scoring in those pockets. But yeah, you're totally right. It's like the amount of shooting that they're getting, the amount of created offense that they're getting from him right now. It would be just a game changer for them in terms of identifying the type of team they're going to be if this is sustainable at all. So right now, Kevin, Dylan Brooks is shooting 53% from the mid-range on 53 total attempts.
Yeah.
His career numbers previously on clean the glass, 43, 38, 38, 40, 40, 40, 35, 37. So he's been a mildly below average mid-range player in his career. So he's at the 83rd percentile right now. 2 years ago, he was at the 42nd. So can that sustain? He's shooting 70% at the rim as well. Actually only shooting 32% from three right now. 9 games played. So we'll see. But to your point, that's raising the bar for like guys like Colin, right?
Right. And it's just, again, I don't think anyone on this team is playing over their heads, if that makes sense. Like, no one's been put on too many, hey, we know that this isn't your thing, but you're going to have to do this. Like, everyone looks pretty natural doing what they're doing and confident. And so, yeah, I don't expect he'll stay a 50% plus mid-range shooter all year. I would expect the 3-point to raise up and that to drop, the mid-range to drop a little bit. But right now, whatever he's doing is working because it's taking the load off other guys. And just the offense is just balanced, I think, and comfortable.
So with Colin, I mentioned I was going to look up the numbers. 5.9 of his 6.2 3-point attempts per game have been open to wide open So those numbers, I think, are just going to, like, his 3-point percentage should at least hang around there, if not get better. A lot of people, rightfully so, are asking about Colin and his long-term future here now because they see a guy playing really well for their team and they would like to see him be here for a long time. He's only making $2.3 million this year. That's been one of the bargains of the league so far. He's an unrestricted free agent next year because he came off the two-way. Then he just got this one-year deal. So now he's going to be a free agent next year. People are asking about long-term deal here. Kev?
Yeah.
This is where that $23 million in dead money is an issue. It's a problem.
You got to find the negative, Kellen. You got to find. Yeah, it is.
I'm sorry. Like, it's just Mark Williams is a restricted free agent and they're going to pay him. Like, he's not going anywhere. And that's already going to sink into where they have no other money coming off of the books. That's the thing. You look at this and how close they are to the tax line already. And it's just, when I saw the tweets coming into me, I was like, okay, they're going to have expiring money. Like, in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, they have expiring money. Like, it'll free up. And like the cap goes up to, like, they'll find 15 million somewhere. They can give him 12, 13 a year, whatever. That's fine. And then it's like, no, like Nick Richards is coming off the books. Goodwin's coming off the books. Nigel Hayes-Davis is coming off the books. And then Colin is coming off the books too. And that's it. So these are the troubles that they are going to have to navigate. Oh, I will say, Dylan Brooks at 19 a year next year, 18 a year for Grayson Allen as well. I don't think they're going to look to move those guys at the deadline. But again, this is the type of problem that comes up. And for those of you that were just like, yeah, Brad's gone. It's like this. We're going to be talking about this for 5 years. This is like, it feels like the Suns should have enough money to re-sign Colin because they should. Because they should. There's $23 million there that is blocking them. They could give that to him and then give some of that to Mark Williams too, but they can't.
They have bird rights even though he is two-way, right? Like that.
Yeah,
that'll help.
So they can go into the tax, but again, They're trying to avoid some repeater stuff. So
yes. So yeah, it's gonna get wonky, and that's also one where it's like, do you do the calculus now and do you come to an agreement before this year is over, even on an extension, to save yourself money and not let him get, like, I don't know what the right answer is, but that's like something the front office probably has to start talking about in the next few months. Like, can we get a really cheap Colin Gillespie deal to keep him here? And we've done the math. If we do a Mark signing or extension, all that stuff, and put the math together and see how it works, like that's probably where they're already headed in their offices. Anything else?
Got good news for you.
Yeah.
That $23 million after next season drops to 22 because that EJ Liddell money comes off the books, baby. Then it's just
the
not
EJ Liddell money.
Yeah, the EJ Liddell money, baby. $706,898.
Which was what? I don't even remember. Next. What was the EJ Liddell money previously like? What? I apparently have wiped this from my brain, but
I can't get there. I tried. You saw me on video for like 6 seconds. Try really hard to go into my brain. It's not.
Hand on forehead.
It's
okay,
not there. Look, man, I still got Mike James, Isaiah Kanan, Tyler Johnson in my head, but I don't have that in my head.
That's okay. Gone. That's okay.
It's gone. It was some smart cost-cutting move at the time when you didn't assume they would add another $20 million of dead money for the next 5 years, but then they did that. Okay. We saw Rasheer Fleming last night. That was fun.
Yeah.
I hate it. I'm trying to figure out the right way to say this where it's not an I told you so parade. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
He's just super athletic and super long and like clearly like against a team that had a bleep ton of athletes and length. That's the guy to put out there. Yeah.
It was some Ryan Dunn foul trouble added to it, but it was nice that they were like, opportunity to find something out. I think you and some other people were like, those were some rough possessions by Rasheer Fleming off the bat when he like overplayed some guy past the 3-point lane, got back cut, and Yang Hansen threw a nice pass. He has some baby Jokic stuff to him. there was some overplaying, some over aggressiveness, but yeah, you just see he just gets to rebounds because he's super long. He gets to bothering shots when it doesn't look like he's actually going to change anything and the shot just misses. I don't know. I there was some good and some bad, but you saw the reasons why. Okay, find opportunities. We're going to start plugging you in 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. That should help your development and just finding the comfort of knowing where to be and finding out how he can grow. Because I think going back to the preseason, we saw he doesn't look like deer in the headlights bad ever.
No.
And that's where that's different than not knowing, being a step off, I guess. Being a step off is different than, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't even catch a basketball. I'm so nervous. He doesn't look like that.
Just Dylan like pushing him into the corner once or twice. Like, why are you floating over here, buddy? Go over there. What are you doing? Like, it was a few of those. There was also his best possession was when he got into Shaedon Sharpe, deflected the ball. Sharpe had to go recover it, and then Sharpe tried to blow by him and did, but then he lost his footing and his balance as he did that. And then the Suns got a steal off that. The rebounds were like right place, right time. I thought the ball just found him, but I loved that there was the first rebound he got. There were like 2 or 3 teammates in front of him, and it was like, I'm a rookie trying not to screw anything up in my first real NBA minutes. Let me just pass it to the guy next to me. He saw Book like 10 feet ahead of those guys and was like, screw it, I'm kicking it ahead to Book. Book scores in transition. Again, same kind of play where he gets that kind of pass. He can just play it slow. I can't remember who was ahead. It might have been Brooks. It might have been Dunn. It wouldn't have been Dunn, so I think it was Brooks. Kicked it ahead to him. That led to a bucket as well. That was good to see. And the part of this equation that I never saw coming is that the Suns' foundation is pretty much set now in less than a month. And what I mean by that is style of play, identity, all that stuff. Everyone on the team knows what they're supposed to do. It took less than a month. Jordan Knott in the Coach of the Year conversation already. He absolutely should be. Not saying he should win it, but if we're talking like if we're rattling off the 5-6 names across the league, our boy Darko in Toronto. Shout out Darko. We see you. What's up, Darko? Having a good year in there in Toronto. Jordan Knott deserves to be mentioned. So with that, it's like, okay, you guys have the benefit of this now. So will you sprinkle in Rasheer? Will you sprinkle in Kaman? Because now they can make those mistakes and you have the stability elsewhere to be okay with them making those mistakes. And even if they didn't have the foundation in place, they should still be playing them through mistakes here. I think it should have happened already. The more experienced basketball people making these decisions, far more experienced, believe it should be happening a little bit later, and that's okay. But to your point, yeah, like foul trouble, okay, let's toss him in there. It's another one of those things where you're balancing the thing as a coach, but I was interested to see, okay, if the second half comes around and like it's Livers' time to check in, is that Rasheer now? It wasn't. So slow and steady. It's just going to be very, very slow and steady. Notable here, by the way, on this like conversation front, this was Nick's best game of the year by far. I think that Nick Richards had a rough start to the year. Just some of the decision making being a step late, just being a step out of position like consistently. He really needed this type of game, and he played very well. Because if that kept happening, and Oso the last couple of games as well, Oso is part of the trapping that you mentioned, the momentum was really building towards like, you might as well just play Kaman at this point anyway. But we're backed out of there. We talked about it last week. G League call up for them whenever the team is in Phoenix and the Valley Suns are playing in Phoenix. They're going to look for situations to get them over there real quick. They saw their point guard play and were like, goodbye, CJ Huntley. We'll see you later. Thank you for your services as a big Jamar Bouye experienced guard. Here you go. Longtime listeners will remember Jamar Bouye is like my random like Austin Reeves, Grant Riller. Was that his name? Grant Riller.
Yeah, because I actually found your story and it was 22 draft, I think. You had like a top undrafted guys. Bouye was your number one. This was the year after Riller. And you're like, he hasn't panned out, but this is my Riller pick. He's I don't know. He's panned out better than Riller. Whatever. Anyway, on ball, downhill guy, can do a step back. Fairly efficient, should be.
Who else was on there?
Oh man, some guy from Buffalo that was like Jonathan Teenth.
Jonathan Williams. He's still around. His first
like
name
that.
is no longer Jonathan because, like, again, you're struggling saying his name. That's probably why. He's bounced around a few teams. It doesn't look like it's going to work for him. But yeah, in that random guys like that, to your point, and then every now and then there was a Vince Williams or an Austin Reeves in there too. Mm-hmm. That's the Grant Riller All Stars, the random guy that probably won't even go in the first round that I love in the draft. Those were the days. We're gonna have more of those days because they have a second round pick this year and nothing else. So I'll find some guys this year too. But they were like, yeah, let's just get an experienced guard and then I believe this might have been what had to do with it the most, honestly, was one of their starting guards or one of the guards in their rotation got selected for the Team USA deal. Oh. So they're going to do the Team USA thing. That was another thing that happened as well.
By the way, former Suns Torrey Craig and Brandon Knight, didn't know he was still playing basketball. That's good. They're on that USA select team, whatever, or not select team. What is it? Cup team, World Cup team? Is it World Cup? I should have read the press release. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
There's if any experienced NBA writers are listening to our podcast at this point, if you want to go like email Brandon Knight's agent or something, there's an awesome story there waiting for you probably because his career collapsing the way that it did so fast. I wrote my version of it when he came here with Houston, but he was still in the league at that point. It was like, oh, maybe it'll work out. I don't know what happened. Like, did Book just break his brain? Did Book just outplay him in a practice once and he was like, this is it, it's over?
I think the injuries were not good, if I remember.
Injuries too, yeah.
Knee injuries and stuff, yeah.
But went from, at worst, he'll be an awesome third guard to out of the league in like a year. It was crazy. I think that's it. I think that's pretty much it. We hit on pretty much everything that we wanted to. Mark Williams was very good in that game too. Individually as well.
They decided to make him go one-on-one against Klingon, interestingly enough, and it actually worked. And I was like, oh, that's an aggressive strategy too. Early on, they just saw something. I don't know.
Okay, not bad. So this upcoming week, eventful. Friday, Minnesota is going to be here. That's just like a great game and like how I talked about it on the post-game show last night. Minnesota is clearly not playing their best basketball right now, but is so like we're a 50-win factory that they can just, we've been together for so long, we can still win through like figuring out what exactly is going on at point guard, which is apparently like some Dante DiVincenzo. We just have to play Dillingham now because the Mike Conley situation turned that sour right now. Have you seen the Jaden McDaniels numbers, Kev? Have you seen them?
No.
Ooh, I'm excited to surprise you here. Jaden McDaniels, 18 a game right now. 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Not bad. Shooting 55 from the field. He's shooting 52 from 3, Kev.
Oh, interesting.
Not very sustainable per se, but he's always been a guy that was 3-and-D. How real is the shooting? His 3-point shooting the years before, 33, 34, 40. Career number 36. So not sustainable to say the least, but he's having this huge like scoring outbreak where it's like, are we sure Jaden McDaniels can't be an all-star at some point? He's been pretty great. Sunday, the Spurs. I was surprised at the creativity of the expletives I shouted when I got the Wemby notification. Because for me, you know this with me, it's like, oh, okay, see you next year, Wemby. Just got to see him once in person this year, and that's it. See you next year. He's out Sunday. So is Stephon Castle. Maybe Dylan Harper's back. Like, we haven't gotten updates there, but it seems like he'll still be out. De'Aaron Fox is back. So that'll be a fun matchup regardless to see, in my opinion, one of the best point guards in the league still. See him playing at that level. And that's a big one because that's the first game of a back-to-back. And then Houston comes to town on Monday. Yes, like Kevin, we'll talk about it. We'll talk with him, I'm sure, at some point. They're just like an excellent basketball team. That will be their biggest test so far, by far, the Suns. Like, they have not played a team playing at that level just yet. You could say Denver, but that was like the third game of the season. Like, things are still piecing together for them. San Antonio was playing well when they beat them, don't get me wrong. But the Rockets are rolling right now. Like, they've got the Reed Shepherd thing figured out. Şengün looks like he's going to be all NBA. Kevin is Kevin. And then you've got Amen Thompson, Tari Eason. My favorite thing that I didn't realize that happened in the offseason, like what it meant until I saw it happen in a game, was seeing Josh Okogie grab an offensive rebound for them, and I was like, oh, duh. Like the offensive rebounding team got Josh Okogie. That makes so much sense. Like that's perfect. And then I think that's it for that stretch. And then the Kings on Wednesday. So we'll probably talk to you guys on that Tuesday. But as you can tell, Kev, very excited for that 3-game slate. A lot to find out there.
Have you watched Houston in the last 4 or 5 as Reed Shepherd has figured it out? Can you lend insight there toward what he has figured out? Just he's figured out confidence, probably, right?
I think that he always had confidence, but it is confidence within what they're doing. I haven't seen more than just snippets here and there. Tonight, I'm for sure watching. They're playing Cleveland tonight on ESPN, which is a great watch. But if I pull up the numbers right now,
they're good. If I remember,
yeah, it'll show you that he is really starting to piece some things together, and that is such a critical piece for them because again, the Fred VanVleet injury, and where is the supplemental scoring off of the perimeter going to be? Last 5 games, 16 a game, taking 7 threes a game, 7 of his 11 shots per game from 3, and he's shooting 53% on those as well. You got 29 a game for Kevin. You've got 24 and 11 with 8 assists for Şengün.
Yeah.
Jabari Smith Jr. is being the Jabari Smith Jr., where it's look, number 2 overall pick, whatever. He'll just be the 5th or 6th best player on a really good team, and that's fine. And that's kind of what he's doing right now on this team. And then you just get these minutes, you watch them, to your point of watching them. It's oh, we're putting Aaron Holiday, Josh Okogie, and Steven Adams all on the floor at the same time. I will not switch the channel right now. Can't wait. Can I give you one more Rockets thing that I love?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm pulling it up right now because their statistical profile is hilarious. And Zach Lowe on his podcast has alluded to have they just figured out a new way to win basketball games that we've never seen before?
Mm-hmm.
So their offensive rebounding percentage right now leads the league by far. The next highest team is Portland. They're at 34.6% for offensive rebounding percentage. Portland's at Houston, 40.1% right now. They're 11% above league average right now, which is just
so you're
bonkers.
Basically half your yeah.
40% of their misses they are grabbing, and then here's the kicker: they are first in opposing free throw rate, so they're not really fouling that much, and then they are 5th in their own free throw rate as well. So they're rebounding everything, and they're winning the free throw margins every single game. Right now, effective field goal percentage on clean the glass are 10th. That's a huge upgrade for them. They used to be one of the worst teams in the league at that. Their 3-point shooting numbers were crazy and still are crazy. Those will go down. But they're just grabbing every miss. They're not really fouling, and they're getting to the free throw line. And that's how they're winning games right now.
That's good coaching when you're that big, that physical, and able to crash the glass, but also you don't foul. That. Usually that mix doesn't happen, I feel like. Correct. Those are crazy numbers.
Nuts. I'm excited to see it in person. It's going to be very not my joke of 7 toddlers trying to get a rebound over Steven Adams, but the Suns don't have a lot of size on their wing group. So him as the 4 or whatever you want to call him, or Şengün. It's going to be super fun to watch.
It is in theory a bad matchup too. Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to do Cats talk before we go? Did you have any UCLA thoughts?
I already shared just Mick Cronin being bothered about something is super enjoyable. We'll find out tonight. I think I'll have some more takes tonight when we see them against that team.
It's a good way to put it, because that was just a very freshman being freshmen. All the freshmen were just really bad. And then it was where are you, Jaden Bradley? This is when you're supposed to be the guy. And you and I, having immense skepticism about him after last year, continued in this game for 35 minutes. And then he just took over in the last 5 minutes. It's hello, Jaden. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Krivas was pretty great. Awaka was really good in that game. That's what I was thinking of. Awaka was great in that game. But tonight, yeah, UConn has just they're very deep and consistent. And I watched their full game against BYU and Debonsa. Their defense was phenomenal in that game. So I think it's a big game for Burries and Pete, because if Burries specifically needs a really good game here, because he hasn't had one yet, and he needs to piece something together, or else it's going to be more of the Jaden Bradley thing, and I think they need more Burries.
They do. I think Koa Pete's come back down to earth a little bit, but there's a lot of season left. Freshman. Big 12 season is going to be good. Like if you see them grow during that, I think I'll be optimistic heading into the tournament.
Yeah, it's like Korchenkov can't do anything right now, and it's like, can you just please keep playing him? Just like you can give up in February, but it's mid-November. Like, so let's just keep playing him through the mistakes. It'll be okay. So far, Tommy's done that. It's been great to see. All right, thank you so much for listening, everyone. We will be back, like we said, next week after a very fun 3-game slate. So until then, have a good weekend when you're listening to this, maybe,
and week
on a Wednesday. Rest of your week.
Rest of your week.
Okay, bye.